there's one thing about myself that I want to put it out there, that I have a very, very dark side. I realized this about myself since a very long time ago, but back then I didn't have a name for it and I didn't have a concept for it, so I couldn't really know what that is. Until a few years ago, after I did my Big 5 personality test, I finally could put my finger onto what that thing actually is. Everything started to click, everything started to make sense. I realized that I'm a very disagreeable person. So when I found out about that, I was like, dang, no wonder. The first tendency that I recognize about myself is that in every kind of conversation that I had with my friends, regardless of the topics, I always have the urge to disprove whatever that my friend said. It's not because I care about the truth, or it's not because that I care about my friends. I want to disagree with them for the sake of disagreeing. And of course, as you can already tell, that trait didn't do me any good for the first 18 years of my life. And now when I look back, I feel like I was sleepwalking the whole time I was in school in Vietnam. Until now, I still remember a lot of the things that I disagreed with my teachers. And even as a kid, I learned how to repress a lot of my opinions, because after a while being in school, I started to realize that there's no point of voicing what I really think to my teachers. For two reasons. Number one, my teachers were just doing their jobs. They were assigned like a certain amount of content that they had to cover in a very limited amount of time. If I try to delve into one argument, then it would take them a lot of time to recover the content in later classes. Number two, I'm pretty sure the other students wouldn't be so keen on listening to these arguments that wouldn't really change the content that they have to absorb and wouldn't really help them with their exam or their tests. So yeah, it's kind of pointless. So throughout my 12 years in school, I learned how to repress my opinions. I tried to not making a fuss out of everything. I really just want to be done with school. And for those of you who wonder about my personality test, according to Myers-Briggs, I am an INTP. I used to be an INTJ, but I became INTP for some reason in the past recent years. Big 5 personality test. I'll put it up right here. So high on openness, average on conscientiousness, low on agreeableness, low in neuroticism, low on extroversion. Yeah, that's it. Growing up my whole life in Vietnam also distills in me the idea that whatever taught in school or whatever written in the textbooks must be 100% correct and true, and I shouldn't question it. And I'm pretty sure that this style of education or this approach of education is not really specific to Vietnam, but also to other countries as well. And I also found out that nobody is satisfied with their education system, so it's fine. I'm not complaining about Vietnam or anything. I'm just telling you my experience. And things changed 180 degrees when I went to Singapore for my university. The first few months when I was in Singapore, I must took 2 courses of English because my English wasn't so good back then. The first few days of my English course, I had to learn how to critically think. I had to question the source of information that I obtained, things like that. And until now, I still remember so vividly the moment I stepped out of the class and I was walking home and I had this strange enlightenment and excitement going on. And on my way home, I was just talking to myself like a crazy person. I was like, holy shit, you can question your textbook, you could question the articles on the internet, you can question the journal articles written by scientists. Like, wow, you literally could question every single thing. I was like, dang, I felt I was reborn again. I was like, this is like a whole new world for me, you know. I mean, in Vietnam, in high school, we had argumentative essays. Is it called argumentative essay? But anyway, in those essays, you had to present your arguments that support your opinions. However, I felt like those essays are like strawberry milk, where they leave a tiny little room for you to wiggle your opinions around. Like you can disagree or agree with certain opinions in that room. However, if you stray away from that range, then your opinions are deemed to be incorrect or troubled. At the beginning of the video, I said that my disagreeableness didn't do me any good when I was in school. However, I must say that this trait actually helped me to stand out when I was in uni and when I was working in my corporate job. In uni, because of my monumental drive to disagree with stuff and to find arguments and evidence to support my opinions, I often get high marks for my essays. Speaking of college essay, one thing Jordan Peterson said that I wholeheartedly agree is that whatever you write really tells you the sophistication of your thoughts. So learning how to write is really learning how to think. I agree with this because a lot of times when I was asked by my friends to take a look at their essays and help them edit their essays, I could really see how my friends think actually by reading their essays. My ex used to ask me to help him with his essays because he was really struggling with uni, and at first I thought it was more like a discipline issue because I thought he wasn't so good at disciplining himself, and that is true in a sense. However, the bigger issue I found out was when I read his essay for the first time. I found myself in an absolute shock. I looked at him and I told him that, dude, your mind is a fucking mess. As you can tell, that relationship didn't turn out so well. So with this personality trait of mine, controversial topics have a special place in my heart. So my area of interest is philosophy and Western politics. Well, somebody commented and asked me in one of my videos if I'm a conservative. Dude, I don't really care which side I'm on, and I don't really care which side is right because first of all, I don't live in America. Second of all, it doesn't really affect me in any way. I enjoy politics like enjoying a boxing match where I lie in my bed with a bowl of popcorns and watching people arguing left and right. I think at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. It's not like it doesn't matter, but it doesn't matter what is right. It matters what wins. I came to this conclusion after I read Beyond Good and Evil by Nietzsche, and also this. If you stick with me until now, wow, you literally have nothing else to do, huh? But I really appreciate it. I've been in a creative slump in the past 2 weeks, so I don't know. I hope you enjoy, and I'll see you in my next video.